It's frost out there tonight. Do you think the Tartan Army are finally starting to warm to Steve Clarke again after that disaster in Germany in the summer?
I think so. I think they should. I mean, I think there's no getting away from the fact that the Euros was a major disappointment. I mean, it was such a letdown after the big build-up. Unfortunately, the signs were there going into the Euros. The team had been off the boil with injury problems. I think Steve Clarke maybe overthought things a wee bit in the summer. And it looked as though his reign was starting to peter out a bit. I think harshly, it was been criticised really heavily. I think some of it's harsh, especially getting into the post-Euro hangover period. We didn't go to a great start in the Nations League. It looked a bit like things were starting to fizzle out. A lot of these games against good teams, I mean, people kept saying a 1-1 in 16 and all that stuff against Gibraltar. And I was at that game. That was terrible, by the way.
It was. I watched it on TV.
The 1-1 was a shocker. But I mean, a lot of these games, England, France, Spain, Holland, I mean, Germany, a lot of good teams in that time, and a lot of the games were kind of narrow defeats as well, and just the morale took a bit of a hit. He's had to go away and rethink. We've got a new formation. He's back to kind of playing 4-2-3-1. Obviously, we know Kieran Tierney. It's really working. Bringing Doak into the situation, I think, has really helped kind of give us a bit of a spark.
Yeah.
It's got bums off seats again, and you can see the team that they get the ball to him quickly and all that stuff. And I think the last 3 games, I mean, 7 points out of 9 have been brilliant in this section. I think finishing third is probably we would maybe hope to or expect to finish in this section at best. I've got this playoff for this. I mean, the Nations League. I mean, it's just.
Give us an explainer on that.
Yeah, let's not. Either way,
show
we've got a playoff to stay in the top tier. Whether or not we want to stay in the top tier, I'm not entirely sure. But obviously, there's seeding issues that we'll find out tonight after the results tonight in terms of the World Cup qualifying. But it just gives us a bit of optimism getting the World Cup qualifiers, because in the last 12 months has been pretty grim.
Yeah.
And I think morale was low, confidence was low, interest was starting to wane, which is a bit of a problem because we've seen it before with Scotland during darker periods when interest is just completely gone. We've seen the half-empty Hampdens and all that stuff. Whereas this gets it going again. There's a bit of belief. And all of a sudden you think, well, we've got Doak's the great hope, isn't he?
Doak's
exciting.
Key.
Yeah. Then you think Lewis Ferguson's coming back from injury. Hickey coming back. Nathan Patterson coming back. Kieran Tierney coming back. All of a sudden, Lennon Miller banging on the door.
Yeah.
Next kind of cycle, next 6 months, who knows what that's going to bring. All of a sudden, from being down the dumps, we can start to be positive again. Which is, listen, it may not last given the Scottish national psyche, but we might as well enjoy it while it lasts.
See, when you name those players, honestly, if there was just a number 9 that we could rely on banging the ball in the net every single game, then honestly, we'd be winning the next World Cup. Never mind just qualifying for it. But
we could do a Champions League level striker.
Yeah.
But listen, it looks like we've got, alright, I know he's playing the Championship, but I think we've got a potential future Champions League winger. No, I'm talking about Doak. I mean, Conway, I think he's still young and raw. He might come on as well. But he's right. That's one thing we lack. But Steve Clarke, listen, that's the thing. Steve Clarke is getting the most out of this group that he's got. And I think he's no trendy, right? We know he's grumpy, self-confessed, Mr. kind of grumpy, and people get fed up with the kind of down hangdog expressions and all that stuff, and they kind of rather do or approach. Don't be fooled by it. This is a guy who's got the team. He's getting the very most out of these players, and if you see it like last night, he is capable of producing exciting football as well.
Yeah.
So I think we should be positive. I think we should try and get the Men in Black pen out and forget last summer, and just start looking forward to the future.
You know, we did similar 2 years ago when we came out, when we lost that qualifier against Ukraine to qualify for the last World Cup. And at that moment, we then went and got thrashed by Ireland over, and that was a horrible day in Dublin.
Yeah.
And then we reverted to the back four for that Nations League campaign as well.
Yeah.
And we picked up, and I think me and you were in Poland for the 0-0 draw that actually qualified us for the top level.
Yeah.
For some reason, reverted back to the back three again for the Euros. I think Kieran Tierney's fitness obviously swung his mind in that one, but it seems to be that 4 at the back's the way to go. But I agree. I think Ben Doak, I mean, he's been shuffling the same kind of players around different systems, but now we have this superstar in Ben Doak that has changed everything. He can get us up the park. I mean, I think in my lifetime I've never known a forward player like him to come through for Scotland. Somebody that can just run at players, continually get by them, and put the ball in the plate. I think that's 4 assists now and six caps.
Yeah.
It's pretty impressive stuff.
Yeah.